everybody. And I will say happy Thursday, because that's pretty much how I always start. But more important than Thursday, happy Earth Day. As a gardener, nature lover, animal lover, I try and treat every day as Earth Day. But, you know, it is important. We all have busy lives. There's always something going on, probably now more than ever. So to get these timely reminders and these focuses where we can stop, take a pause, and just kind of maybe rethink things, maybe learn something new, maybe help us refocus. I know they work for me. You know, all those little like hashtag holidays you see and stuff like that. I like them. I know that, you know, it's nothing major. It's not a make it or break it event or anything. But too often, I can have blinders on. I can have tunnel vision, especially this time of year. So many other things happening, and I miss focus. I lose sight of things that I should be focused on more. And timely reminders like that kind of bring it into a realization for me. So I hope you just spend a moment today and kind of reflect, kind of think, you know, one of the things I try and do when I garden is I really try, one of the things I love is working with the environment, not against it. That's why you'll always hear me talk about, you know, you have ladybugs. If you have to use a spray, use one that isn't bad. Ideally, use ladybugs. You know, try and limit the effect of what we're doing. You know, have less impact. And you can do that. You can have all of that and still have incredible gardens, still have beautiful flowers. And it's just knowing what you're doing and knowing the tips. You know, a story I like to tell, a few years ago, we moved into a place, a number of years ago now, and the garden was dead. Hard clay, noxious weeds everywhere, filled with slugs, wasps, just not great. In 2 years, I had that garden fully turned around. It took a lot of work, but we had bees and dragonflies, very little slugs, ladybirds and centipedes. Now, they are there because there's bugs for them to eat. But before they weren't there because the bad bugs weren't attracted to anything. You know, the ground wasn't just solid clay. We'd worked amendments into it. We'd kept it going. So, you know, with a little bit of hard work and a little bit of effort, we can achieve that. So anyway, enough of that. I just hope you all take a moment today to reflect. I love Earth Day. It is a great day. And I hope you guys get something out of that. So we're going to keep going on perennials, but I'm just going to do a little aside. When we were talking about annuals, we did some seeding. I just wanted to show you guys. So those are the microgreens we started with you guys. They weren't on a heating pad. They were just sitting in my office. You might be able to tell just from looking at them which way the light was, because they're all kind of going in that direction. I didn't actually have them under a light, but they've sprouted up. And then these were my tomatoes. Nice and healthy, doing good. And then there we go. Look, we got a double tomato coming up right there. So right now, as it looks, this one might be the hardier one, but it's still too early to tell. They're not causing each other any grief at this stage. No point trying to separate them and transplant. I'll probably end up killing them both. I'll let them go for now, and then I'll make my decision. But yeah, right now, and you know what? We got nothing happening there, and that's fine. That's fine. I've still got 8 tomatoes. By the time I eliminate one of these, 7 tomatoes, and I couldn't be happier with that. So yeah, that's how easy it was with those seeds. So back to the task at hand, which is perennials throughout the seasons. And black doesn't show up on the chalkboard, but the sun does indeed have a hat on. Okay, just very important. The black showed up on the yellow. Maybe I should have done his hat yellow and then done black. But anyway, I digress, of course. But he does have his hat on. That was the whole point of that, was to point out the sense. So maybe if I stayed on topic, we could get so much more.
You guys won't get back.
But now everybody knows that the sun does indeed have a hat on. So as we talked about, perennials, you know, they're long lasting. So like annuals, you can put out pansies now, and with the right maintenance program, the right care, those pansies will start blooming now and bam, all the way through to the fall. That being said, it was 19, 20 degrees yesterday. It's 2 degrees windy and snowy today. So I hope you don't have your pansies out today. But the pansies go all season long, but then they're done. You take them, throw them in the compost, put the pot in the garage, bring it all out next spring, start all over again. Perennials, they don't do that. They go through a cycle here. And what I wanted to talk about is right now, spring, okay? And spring is amazing. I grabbed another bleeding heart. This is the traditional one. Again, look at that crazy flower. Okay, just incredible. And this is an early spring perennial. And the great thing about spring is that it is ideal for perennials. It is ideal to plant them because even loosening this up, and I'm not going to do it, but loosening this up and popping it out of its pot, there's going to be roots. Well, right now, the sun isn't as hot. I can pick a cloudy day when it's cooler. I can plant it with little to no risk of that getting shocked. And I can put it in a nice 10 degree, 15 degree day, pop that in the ground, hey presto. Then it's got all season to establish the root development. So it's going to get what it needs. I'm going to fertilize it accordingly. Okay, I'm going to make sure that whatever fertilizer I go with, liquid, organic, granular, it gets fed. The roots are going to grow and it's going to establish all season. Yay. And then the other thing is it's ideal to transplant and divide in the spring. And if there's no reason coming up that you can see, you're going to have a fence renovated, you're going to put a deck in, you're landscaping your whole property, everything's going to stay the same. But some of your perennials are going to be big, you want to divide them or you just want to transplant them to a different area. Spring is the best unless it's an early spring bloomer, in which case do it in the fall. Now, you're not going to kill the perennial, but like we said the other day, what you will do is there's a good chance you're going to shock it. If you shock it, there's a good chance it won't bloom. So you'll lose your early spring blooms. So your early spring bloomers, which could be your bleeding hearts, your heuchera can be another one. You might want to wait and get these done late fall. And again, the reason I say fall and not summer is the heat. 34 degrees, no moisture in sight, full sun. These guys do not want to be lifted up, cut open, planted. You can do it. I have done it for whatever reason, aesthetics, environmental effect, whatever. But you don't, ideally, if you can avoid it, you want to avoid it. Okay. I hear people talk about getting frost blankets for their perennials. For the most part, the perennials you get here, they can handle the conditions. If you've bought it brand new and you're putting it outside right now, I do not recommend that. Harden them off, acclimatize them, much like we've discussed with perennials and beating a dead horse, but I want to get this message across. This is coming from a nice greenhouse. It's warm in here. It's good. You put it outside on a day like today, it's not going to have a good time. It's not going to enjoy it. I just got this one because I wanted to show you guys the foliage.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a Heliopsis. But even when it's not in bloom, that foliage is incredible. That was the only reason I grabbed that. I had no reason to talk about it. But I just like showcasing fun things. So the spring is a great time. You can amend your soil. And again, you know, we've got all kinds of good stuff. This company, Annalita, local company, Alberta local, and they are incredible. I love their stuff. You can amend the soil around them. You can get your fertilizers into them, and you can really, really get your perennials going. Summer, ideally, do nothing. Water, fertilize, enjoy. You don't want to be lifting them. You don't want to be moving them. Again, you absolutely can, at the risk of shocking them. If that happens, you want to use a transplant or a root booster fertilizer. And the reason for that, and I'll go back to the Heliopsis, just as beautiful, is you lift this and you divide it. You may damage some leaves. You might break a stem while it's happening. and you may end up cutting down a fair chunk of the foliage. Also doing so, you may damage some roots. Now, if you've hurt the foliage, then obviously the photosynthesis exchange isn't as much. It can't draw in as much energy. So you need to get those roots fed to send the message up to put out more leaves. So that's why you want to use a root booster. But ideally, if you can avoid it, in the summer, enjoy your perennials. You know, water as needed, fertilize up until mid-August, and just enjoy them. That's what you've done the work for. Lazy days of summer. Best way to take care of your perennial is sit in a hammock with a nice cold drink, beer, lemonade, iced tea, whatever. Swing in your hammock nice and gently and be like, I love my perennials, I love my, just like that. Okay, that's top tip right there. And then we get to the autumn, to the fall. And the perennials are dying. Yeah, you got your sedums, some phlox. There's going to be some bloomers happening. Now you want to divide your early spring ones. Pro tip, bleeding heart can be a nightmare to divide. No matter what you do, they tend to have a shallow root system and it crumbles apart really easily. That's fine. Get them in the soil, plant them up, keeps the foliage same height. You're going to be okay. Just, you lift out some plants, great. You lift out others and you're like, oh, what have I done? Don't even worry about it, okay? They are a tough plant. You'll do fine. And all you want to do in the fall is your early spring bloomers. You can, again, of course, do the others, but you're not giving them the whole season like you do in the spring to reestablish. So planting or transplanting, they've got all season to get great roots. In the fall, they don't. They might have a few days, a few weeks, maybe a month tops to start getting some root growth in. So you really want to limit what you do in the fall. And ideally, you don't want to do it when it's really cold. If there's a frost that can nip the roots. Again, overcast day, even 5 degrees, the plant's climatized. It's used to being outside. So that's what you want to do in the fall, is really just, the bare minimum. And then the other big thing with your perennials that I like to do is cut them back. You do not have to do this. Absolutely do not. The reason I cut mine back in the fall, if I can, if we don't have a ton of snow before I get to them, is in the spring when the new shoots are coming up and there's dead leaves. Removing those dead leaves, you run the risk of damaging the new shoots. If you can clean them out in the fall and they're totally dead, not green, no photosynthesis happening, so no more energy going in, snip them back, nice and clean start for the spring. And then, of course, always spring, summer, or fall, treat your problems, fungicide, bugs, the way you've got to keep them healthy. And that's a year-long procedure. It doesn't matter if it's divided, transplanted, new planting, established. You want to stay on top of that. So that's it. That kind of wraps us up for Perennial Week. Perennials throughout the seasons. We're not even out of April, and I just spent 5 minutes talking about autumn.
Yay!
Brandy's an autumn girl. She loves her autumn. So that wraps us up. Don't forget, more information. Sign up for our webinar. We still have that iris to give away. Veggie pod giveaway. What? Keep an eye out for that. There's definitely things happening. Have a wonderful, wonderful Earth Day, everybody. Just be safe. The blip in the weather, it happens, it's spring. It's going to be nice again next week. I'm only off on Sunday and it's -2 and snowing. Thanks, Mother Nature. Thanks, Earth Day. I did my part. I mentioned you. It's all good. Forces me to sit on the couch and Netflix. Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with having a lazy day from time to time. Enjoy, everybody. Be safe. Shoot us your questions. Hawaiian shirt Friday tomorrow. Can't wait. We got questions, comments, shout outs. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.